येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधा नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming on a Friday evening especially. Usually we don't get to say thank God it's Friday. So, thank God it's Friday that we are able to see all of you. We are memorizing some of the verses. We'll begin with those. Would anyone like to recite this verse and we will all follow? There is a second mic here. Okay, Anuji would like to try.
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणो नेत्र
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र
लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः
लोकोऽयं कर्मबन्धनः
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय
मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर।
मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर।
Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from the bondage.
Thank you. Anyone who would like to recite?
यद् यद् आचरति श्रेष्ठः
यद्यदाचरति श्रेष्ठः
तत् तद् एव तरो जनः
तत्तदेव तरो जनः।
स यत् प्रमाणं कुरुते
स यत् प्रमाणं कुरुते
लोकस्तद् अनुवर्तते।
लोकस्तदनुवर्तते।
Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues.
Okay, next one. Okay.
प्रकृते किं क्रियमाणानि
प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि
गुणकर्माणि सर्वशः
गुणकर्माणि सर्वशः
अहंकार विवृआत्मा
अहंकार विमूढात्मा
कर्ताहम् इति मन्यते.
कर्ताहम् इति मन्यते.
The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actually carried out by the three modes of material nature.
Go. Next one. Anyone?
पवित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of the religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium.
Okay, next one. Anyone like to recite this verse?
That I know. I can try.
जन्म कर्म मे दिव्यम
जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम्
एवं यो वेति तत्त्वतः
यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः व्यात्यादेह
देहं पुनर्जन्म
व्यात्यादेहं पुनर्जन्म
नीति माम
इति सो अर्जुन नैति मामिति सो अर्जुन.
One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna.
For the feedback. The final verse of chapter 4.
Very. I'm just going to read it, okay?
Yes, yes,
Tat
yes, sir.
vidhi pranita patena
तद्विधि प्रणिपातेन
pariprasannena sevaya
परिप्रश्नेन सेवया
upadekshyanti te jnanam
उपदेशन्ति ते ज्ञानम्
jnanani tattvadashina.
ज्ञानानि सत्त्वदर्शिनः.
Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth.
Alright, so those are our memorization verses. We'll now jump to quick recap of chapter 3. I think 2 sessions ago we did chapter 1 and chapter 2 recap. So this is chapter 3. Anyone remembers the acronym? TREE. Chapter 3 acronym, easy to remember, is TREE. Anyone remembers what T stands for? Chapter 3, the first 9 verses speak about Tyaga or renunciation. What is real renunciation? And in that context we discussed about this story of how a young monk who saw an older monk help a young girl cross across the river, and the young monk kept thinking, we are celibates, how could he carry like this? And for hours and hours, and he was thinking, and after a few hours, unable to resist, he asked the old monk, hey, we are supposed to be celibate, we are not supposed to touch a woman. Why did you carry? And he said, of course, I carried her only for a few minutes. You have been carrying her for many hours. So, real renunciation is within. It's not about giving up externals. Sometimes that may be needed, but most often it's about developing renunciation within. And then we discussed about the R. R stands for the rungs on the yoga ladder. Very briefly we discussed. We were joking. Yoga ladder is not yoga on a ladder.
I mean, real life people are upside down right now.
People are
Upside right now, yeah. They have to be straight.
They have, yes. We were mentioning how most people living in this world, unfortunately, even though they are in human bodies, but they lead a life of animals. That's the unfortunate reality. Sleeping, eating, mating, and defending. That's all they do. And every activity that we do is primarily targeted for that. They don't recognize there is a higher authority, maybe other gods are there. I'm supposed to do something. There is purpose of life, nothing like that. Enjoying is the goal of life. Higher than that, anyone knows what is after this? Is karma kanda, where people recognize, hey, I have desires, but I also recognize there is some universal structure here. So there is an easier way to fulfill my desires. So that this is where karma kanda comes into picture. And most of our Vedic traditions that have been passed down as family traditions for many generations are primarily rooted in karma kanda. They are coming from the 4 Vedas. So they speak about how, if you have one specific desire, whom to worship, what is the process for that worship, and how to get that desire fulfilled. So here at least now you're recognizing there is someone higher than you, and then we worship a demigod, and then we get what we want. Notice the word yoga doesn't appear here. It's called karma kanda. Higher than this is all of them will come in a quiz somewhere in future. So higher than this is easy. So here yoga refers to yuj, means to connect. So until our actions connect us to the Supreme, the word yoga doesn't appear. So here we are doing work. We are following the Shastra, which says do this, don't do these. Eat these, don't eat these. Wake up at this time, don't wake up at this time. Eat these or do these activities, do's and donuts. So we are willing to follow do's and we will skip doing the don'ts. So this is all there in Karma Kanda, but there is no aspiration to connect this with the Supreme. Try to understand who the Supreme is. Is there many gods? Is there one God? All that questions don't arise. All of them arise when we are at the level of Karma Yoga. And this is what Krishna is speaking in the 3rd chapter, Karma Yoga. How can we connect our work to Krishna? How can we connect our results to Krishna? How can I do what I do for the pleasure of Krishna? That becomes Karma Yoga. I will still do what I like, but I'll do it as an offering, as purification for Krishna. So that is what? Karma Yoga.
Jnana Yoga.
Next is Jnana Yoga. Haribo will give you a round of applause. So next is, as people perform this karma, they will slowly develop detachment. And as they develop detachment, then they are allowed to give up their material duties and fully focus studying Shastra and do Jnana Yoga. Of course, we didn't get to speak much, but in this particular day and age, in Kali Yuga, Jnana Yoga is not recommended. Going to forests, studying, not suitable for Kali Yuga people like us.
But Prabhu, we need jnana, right? Knowledge and devotion both are required. So we need to acquire. Without knowledge, simply Bhakti Yoga has any significance?
Yes. We will talk about that when we talk about the express elevator. Because there is this ladder that Krishna gives, but then Krishna also gives an elevator path, which are a combination of all of this. But here, all of these are actually karma mishra bhakti. There is little devotion. We are offering our results to Krishna, but it's mostly karma, little bit devotion. Here also jnana mishra bhakti. So there is mostly jnana, but a little bit of bhakti is there. But the express elevator, we do also work, but it is bhakti is the main part, karma is the little part. Bhakti is the main part, jnana is the little part. So we are studying not for the sake of acquiring knowledge, but for the sake of purification. And yes, and that knowledge is also helpful. That knowledge actually becomes bhakti yoga at that point. Anything we do for purification of ourselves and for the pleasure of Krishna is effectively the express elevator way that I'm going to speak about in a minute. Dhyana yoga. So Krishna is going to speak about Jnana Yoga. I mean, the numbers are not like that, but Jnana Yoga in chapter 4 and Dhyana Yoga in 5 and 6. And finally Bhakti Yoga. This is one way to do it. Once when we study systematically Shastra, we will realize how to meditate on Paramatma. And that's where we do Dhyana Yoga. And when we do meditation on the Paramatma, we will eventually develop bhakti towards the Supreme. And that is where we do the Bhakti Yoga. But there is an express elevator path, which is from animal life, we can directly jump to surrender and association of pure devotees. Advanced devotees. If we are able to do that, we can, however fallen we may be, doesn't matter. It may take longer, but by surrendering ourselves to the association of pure devotees, advanced Vaishnavas, we'll be able to make very fast progress. And then we take up sadhana bhakti. What does sadhana mean? Practice. So on a regular basis we have some practice. Based on Shastra, our acharyas have given us simple formula. No need to go to Himalayas, no need to do this, no need to do that. Elaborate yajnas, ABCD. A for?
Association.
B for? Books. Not any books.
Spiritual.
Harry Potter books. Bhagavadgita and Bhagavatam. Basically. Chaitanya Charitamrita later on. But Bhagavadgita and Bhagavatam, which is what we are trying to do here. Slowly but surely. And C is? Chanting. And D is? Diet. So because we are what we eat. So by changing our diet, we change ourselves. And then integral to D, diet, is also deity worship. We don't want to eat vegetarian food. We don't want to eat Jain food. We want to honor Krishna Prasad. Usually devotees don't say, I am eating prasadam. We may say sometimes, but devotees usually say we are honoring prasadam. So the word eating has a connotation of enjoyment, but devotees prefer to use the word honor. What are you doing? I am honoring prasadam. What? You are only looking at it? No. We are honoring it by accepting it. So we are respecting the prasadam by taking it.
Eating is animal instinct.
So we say that we are taking or honoring prasadam. And how will it become prasadam? By offering it as bhoga to Krishna, then it becomes prasadam. So D, diet includes deity worship also. Having a picture of Krishna at home. I was told, Shamakumar was mentioning, Sukeshwari Mataji gave, if you are still cooking with onion and garlic, for example, you can at least offer rice to Krishna. And this act in itself will purify you over a period of time. Eventually you may develop a desire, and Krishna may give you the strength needed to give up these lower modes of food in lower modes that dull our brain. So any act, whatever we are able to offer, we should offer. That will help uplift our consciousness slowly. So D is for diet and E is for
Engaging in service.
engaging in service. So this is also very essential part, because service is like digestive power. The more service we do, the more hunger we will feel for bhakti. The less service we do, we feel, yeah, all of these are there. Not so important, not so urgent. Just as there is food, but if you don't have hunger, there is no immediate urge to take it. So it's like that. So the more service we do, the more we will feel that I want to do this. So that's what sadhana bhakti means. And by doing sadhana bhakti, we will eventually develop emotion towards Krishna, and then we'll get to prema bhakti. So when we say sadhana bhakti, we were mentioning about Bhagavadgita, Bhagavatam. So studying those is also jnana. But in bhakti yoga process, reading of too many literature is also not recommended. We just read the essence of the essence. Because in this day and age, for us to get through the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita itself takes multiple years. Now, to understand Bhagavad Gita in a very detailed way, where we are able to relate it to our own life, we see something and our mind is saying something, and to immediately be able to connect a verse from Bhagavad Gita. So basically, knowledge should become realized knowledge. For it to become, you have to study Bhagavad Gita so many times, and then you can probably say, I know Bhagavad Gita at that point. Until then, it's a theoretical knowledge only. So now Bhagavad Gita itself, so much time, only 700 pages, 700 shlokas. Now Srimad Bhagavatam is 18,000 verses. So when will we get there? So, and then Srimad Bhagavatam is considered to be the essence of all Shastra. And it is the culmination. It is Veda Vyas in his maturity, spiritual maturity, wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. So if we are able to read Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, that's more than enough. No need to study all the other Vedas and Puranas and so many other things that are available. Okay, that's the express elevator. So we spoke about T, R, tree. So the E stands for exemplary behavior. How someone who has developed detachment should still do his duty so that others will follow. The final E stands for? Anyone remembers what this eternal enemies are?
Greed, lust, greed, anger,
Lust.
ego.
There were two that 39th verse or 36th verse mentions. Lust is one of them. The main one is lust. And lust means anything that's not connected to Krishna, if we have attachment to it, that's called lust in a broader perspective. Because it is mentioned when the living entity was in the spiritual world, it was experiencing pure love. And when the living entity came down to this material world, the material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So a reflection, if you go to a bank, you will see bank, not Wells Fargo Bank, river bank. So you will see a tree reflected in the water as a reflection. But usually most rivers or lakes are not calm. You will not see a perfect reflection. You will see some disturbed or perverted reflection. So it looks like a tree, but not exactly a tree. So when the living entity comes to this material world, the love of the spiritual world gets transferred into lust. The pure selfless love gets transferred or translated in this material world as selfish enjoyment for our own selves. Because it is mentioned, this nature of the soul is to enjoy. We are pleasure-seeking entities that can never be taken away. It's not that when we become spiritual, it's not that we no longer seek pleasure. We do. That's the nature of the soul. And we will continue to do so. But what we seek pleasure in, that changes. So lust is basically the opposite of love. And lust also has a younger brother. We were discussing lust, when it is not fulfilled, leads to anger. So those are the two enemies, according to the 3rd chapter of Bhagavadgita. Okay. 4th chapter. Any comments, questions before we move on? That's a summary of chapter 3.
One question. Where this Ashtanga Yoga comes into picture, like in the first ladder, which comes under maybe Dhyana Yoga. So, but it was said that like there are different paths to reach God. So one is Bhakti Yoga, one is Jnana Yoga. So, but here we are seeing in a ladder form instead of a different parallel form. So this, my question is, how does that match with this ladder?
Question is,
because people here, in Dhyana Yoga, they follow the Ashtanga Yoga principles to get to the source, like eventually elevate.
according to Bhagavadgita, so we will read more about it in the 5th and 6th chapter. So in order to perform Dhyana Yoga, one must have complete detachment from activities. He should not feel that I want to do something. He should have complete detachment from activities. And he should have a very good knowledge on the 2nd canto of Bhagavatam mentions about whom to meditate on. When we are doing dhyana, it is mentioned we should we should focus on the tip of the nose. We should close our eyes halfway through. We should sit on a kusha grass, go to the forest. And then we should meditate on the Paramatma feature who is in the heart. But so we must know who Paramatma is, how does he look. So Dhyana Yoga implicitly requires detachment from matter and knowledge before one can perform actual Dhyana Yoga. So according to Bhagavad Gita, at least it's a sequential path only. And it may not be in this life. One may have already went through this and they are no longer interested in, let's say, doing karma or any responsibilities, and they are completely detached in the heart. There are no longing. Some people, they are like that. I am happy wherever I am. I don't need much. So, which means they have performed all of this in their previous lives already. So, some of them who are already elevated like that through many, many years and lifetimes of practice may practice Dhyana Yoga. But when we get there, we'll speak more. Prabhupada writes, in this day and age, none of these are actually recommended. Because there are loopholes, there are so many problems. Even if you do, the failure rate is very high. So, we'll talk more about it when we get there. Any other questions? Alright, chapter 4. Chapter 4, the acronym is EARS. EARS. So how can one develop transcendental knowledge? Through ears. I mentioned this many times. Usually, if we want to look at some material phenomenon, the most important organ is our eyes. But if we want to understand spiritual knowledge, the most important organs are ears. I was reading a quote recently. Have you noticed that your mouth can be closed but ears cannot? God is indicating something that we must speak less and hear more. So, some sarcastic quote I was reading. I thought, yes. So ears. So that's the acronym for chapter 4. And we'll only talk about these first two today. It's very interesting. I once went to my cousin brother, and he was not doing well. He was sick, so we went to visit him. I took a Bhagavad-Gita to give him. So he is my older brother. So I gave him the Bhagavad-Gita. He is a typical South Indian, karma kanda, all rituals, but no proper understanding on why they do what they do. So he said, "Oh, this Bhagavad Gita." So he asked, "When did Krishna speak Bhagavad Gita?" I said, 5,000 years ago. See, whatever rules, regulations are there 10 years ago, they are no longer applicable now. Now, what to speak of 5,000 years ago? Krishna spoke 5,000 years ago. It's not at all relevant now. Nothing to learn from it. So, he's a very strong-headed person. I didn't argue much with him. But I indicated to him, please read chapter 4, beginning verse, where Krishna says, the first or second verse, that I spoke this knowledge to Vivashwan. Let me see if I'm able to pull up that verse. Nope. Okay, I'll just give summary. So Krishna says, I spoke this knowledge to Vivashwan, the sun god. And then sun god spoke to Ikshvaku. No, sun god spoke to Manu. Manu spoke to Ikshvaku. Ikshvaku is, you may have heard this song, Ikshvakula Tilaka. Rama is called, so Rama appears in the lineage of Ikshvaku dynasty. So sun god to Manu, Manu to Ikshvaku, and Ikshvaku later disseminated. And then Krishna says, in due course of time, that knowledge was lost. And Arjuna asked, hey, wait a second, you're only few months elder to me. How come you spoke this knowledge to sun god at the time of creation? Then Krishna mentions about Janma Karma Cha Medivyam. He says, you and I have taken many births, but I remember all of them, you don't remember. And then he quotes many verses, that some of those are our memorization verses. We will talk about that. But so that is how we see, actually Bhagavad Gita is not 5,000-year-old knowledge. Bhagavad Gita is actually eternal knowledge. Krishna speaks this time and again, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam shrujamyaham. So whenever there is irreligion predominating, then Krishna comes, re-establishes dharma, and as part of re-establishment of dharma, he gives these rules and regulations. Please do this, don't do this. So sometimes we hear articles online. Is Bhagavad Gita spoken first? Bible came first, Quran came first, and now there are well documented, carbon dated proofs to show that Bhagavad Gita or the Vedic knowledge is the oldest knowledge. But even that carbon dating is not accurate. They point to something like 3,000 years, something like 3,500 years, like that. But Bhagavad Gita, we know, was spoken 5,000 years ago, was put into writing by Vyasadeva about 5,000 years ago, because Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, and then maybe 36 years later, he left this planet, and as soon as he left, Kali Yuga began. So, and as soon as Kali Yuga began, Vyasadeva put it into writing. So Bhagavad Gita isn't there for only 5,000 years. It's actually there even before that. So this Vedic knowledge is continuously given again and again based on, yes, Ramesh.
Who was the god before Bhagavad Gita spoken? Like Kauravas, Pandavas, who they used to worship? So Vedic gods only.
Kauravas, even when Krishna was there personally in front of them, they wouldn't worship Krishna, unfortunately. But because this knowledge is there all along, they are aware of the knowledge, the conclusions of all knowledge. They worship Krishna as the Supreme Lord. Pandavas worshipped Krishna is the Supreme Lord even before Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita.
Before Krishna was born, who was the God?
Oh,
Yeah.
of course, Pandavas were also born around the same time. But this knowledge, even before Krishna was born, Krishna consciousness is there in the world. Like for example, in Dwapar Yuga, whom were they worshipping? They were worshipping Vishnu as the main deity of worship. I think we discussed about how once in the day of Brahma, maybe I'll
But
skip.
Ramayana happened before, right? So why didn't they worship the Rama? They considered Rama as the supreme before Krishna was born.
Yes. I mean, even after Krishna is born, Rama is also still considered as the supreme, but their purposes are different. Rama is took birth to show how an ideal man should behave, and when people are struggling with the basics of how to behave like a human being, then we must study Ramayana and we must try to follow and emulate Lord Rama. But as we graduate from the basics, we must study and understand Vishnu Bhakti or pure devotional service, which is mentioned in Ramayana, but it's not the predominating aspect of Ramayana. So, but both Ramayan's knowledge and this Sanatan Dharma knowledge is there from time since immemorial. But then it goes up whenever Yuga Avatar appears, they re-establish Dharma again, everybody becomes spiritual, knowledge is widely available, everybody knows who is the Supreme, Krishna is the Supreme. How do you get there? ABCD, everybody knows. But now you go to the street and ask who is the Supreme? You know what? I think scientists said, you know what? So that's what people say. Most people don't know now. We are at a very low point. But eventually it is mentioned over the next 9,500 years, the whole planet is going to become spiritualized. This planet Earth. Now, maybe if you take birth after maybe 5,000 years ago, 5,000 years later, everybody will be very spiritual. So, time, based on time, place, circumstance, the Shastric knowledge may go down. But it's pure devotees will always know who is the Supreme and how to worship the Supreme.
But Bhagavad Gita was not spoken since before that there is no Bhagavad Gita. So which was the authenticated scripture or authenticated gods, because Krishna was not there. They know Vishnu or
Yes.
which god?
So Bhagavad Gita, maybe I should have put this verse there. Bhagavad Gita was spoken even before Krishna spoke that to Arjuna on the battlefield.
Yes,
So Krishna-
that I know before he first spoke to some god, but they didn't know. They were like it was lost. They forgotten all the knowledge. So they might have read different scriptures or worship different gods. Like what was that? Because this is a common question everybody's mind. So before Krishna, who was the god?
They show Vidura was praying Vishnu. Right? Vidura.
Vidura was
Brother
praying
of-
to- So there is a history on Shastra. I'll very briefly mention. Only at the beginning of Kali Yuga was Shastra put into writing. Before that, it was all verbal only. And everybody knew by heart. Like for example, we all come together right now, we may be able to recite Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya. So now everybody is able to recite. And a small child walking into this, in the beginning he may not be able to know, but because if he hears every day, Om Ajnanatimidandhasya, Om Ajnanatimidandhasya, slowly he will get it. And if anybody makes a mistake, immediately everybody would look at it. Like, so then the guy is thinking, oh no, I better be careful. And then he is attentive and they learn. So that is how Vedic knowledge was emanated. That is how everybody learned Vedic knowledge. Everybody learned Vedas and the conclusions of the Vedas also. Puranas and the conclusions of the Puranas also. So everybody knew about Bhakti. Very few people were following pure devotional service, but everybody was following Bhakti, the path of Bhakti, and goal of liberation. Material world is bad, detached from material world, we should get out from here. All of those were there. all along. Only in Kali Yuga that knowledge is lost. In Kali Yuga, all spiritual knowledge is lost. And that's why Vedavyas has put into writing. And whenever empowered acharyas come, that wave again comes up. Just like an ocean wave comes up, that knowledge comes up again. And everybody becomes somewhat knowledgeable. And then again in due course of time, maybe it is mentioned 9,500 years later, again Kali Yuga will, nobody will know what Bhagavadgita is. Right now some kids you go and speak to, hey, do you know Arjuna? He said, who? Arjuna? Who is Krishna? So sometimes American born Indians also don't know, unfortunately. So yes, everybody was aware of Vedic knowledge, but not everybody was following pure devotional service at that point. But there were pure devotees who were following that, and in pockets they knew Bhagavatam also, Bhagavad-Gita also, but not widely available.
But they don't know how Krishna looks, right? Or before Krishna was born. So only they might have seen the Vishnu Swarupa or something.
That is right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Krishna's appearance, Krishna, details about Krishna, and then Vraj, Vrindavan pastimes, all of that are usually hidden. Even Brahma himself did not know. When Krishna appeared, he thought, Arey, I know Vishnu, I got darshan of Vishnu. He even gave me a shake hand. Bhagavatam mentions they did a shake hand also.
All these Dasavataras happened before only, right? Before Bhagavad.
Bhagavatam mentions 24 incarnations, of which 10 are prominent. And then they keep happening again and again. For example, Vamana avatar, in this day of Brahma, Varaha, two Varaha avatars appeared. So many of them appear again and again. Narsimha also appears multiple times. So incarnations come again and again. Let me go back to your original question. So yes, people weren't aware of Krishna that easily. Only after Krishna appears, people realize the supremacy of Krishna and the devotion of Vraja Bhakti. It's a big topic on its own. Pure devotional service, and within pure devotional service, pure devotion of Vrajavasis is the highest. That is not revealed most of the time. But spiritual knowledge is revealed most of the time, except in Kali Yuga, where it is covered over. I hope you are satisfied.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
If you are satisfied somewhat, I feel.
I mean, there's so many questions, but yeah. Okay. Vedas, they didn't mention about Vishnu. Vishnu Swarupa is there, but they might have read the Vedas or Upanishads. But yeah, some of the Upanishads may mention about Vishnu.
Yes.
But it's all Brahman. Like they know the one form mentioned here. So how do they know all these gods and all?
So your question is, Vedas primarily talk about Brahman.
Correct. Yeah. No formless
Yes.
Vishnu.
And then they also talk about Vishnu also as the
In some of the Upanishads.
some of the Upanishads, but here and there only, not as the main title card. Only here and there Vishnu is.
That time this Vaishnava Sampradaya was not there because Vaishnava Guru Madhvacharya, they recently happened. But before that, these Sampradayas were not there. So that time.
Those Sampradayas were always there. These 4 Sampradayas are eternal. So Brahma, for example, our Sampradaya was Brahma Madhvacharya. And then you see, if I have a Bhagavad Gita copy, we can read. Then from Krishna, Brahma got the knowledge. Brahmaye Adi Kavai. So Mukhyanti and Surya. But knowledge was revealed to Brahma in his heart. And after Brahma, he passed down that knowledge to Narada Muni. So Narada Muni, who is the son of Brahma, Brahma gives the knowledge to Narada Muni. Narada Muni gives that knowledge to Vedavyas. Vedavyas is actually a title. And this particular Vedavyas, who has written all the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all these books, is Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. But Vedavyas appears every Dwapar Yuga. Every Dwapar Yuga, we mentioned 1000 Chatur Yugas in a day of Brahma. So 1000 Vyasadevas appear. So at the end of Dwapar Yuga and beginning of Kali Yuga, all these Vyasas put Vedas into writing. So our particular Vyasadeva got initiated by Narada Muni. And just like that, the previous Dwapar Yuga, end of Dwapar Yuga, there was another Vyasadeva. That Vyasadeva was also in a parampara only. And whatever knowledge that Vyasadeva has written was available throughout Kali Yuga and is again revealed at the beginning of Satya Yuga. And again from Satya Yuga that knowledge is there, and over time it slowly degrades until Dwapar Yuga, and then Kali Yuga it degrades very much.
So only one sampradaya used to exist, all these four?
Four sampradayas eternally
So
exist.
people were confused that time also then. Because each sampradaya glorifies one particular god. Sri Sampradaya, Devi, like...
No, Sri Sampradaya is started by Lakshmi Devi.
Lakshmi Devi, yeah, that's right.
But Sri Sampradaya is Ramanujacharya, and they also worship Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All four Sampradayas, there is no confusion. Principles are same. All four Sampradayas primarily worship Vishnu Tattva, Krishna or Vishnu as the Supreme. And the details of worship, like for example, Sri Sampradaya may emphasize deity worship very much. You should have very big deities, big temples, 108 offerings in a day. So the details vary, but they also say pure devotion is the highest, material desires not good.
Correct, but two different gods, like Rudra Sampradaya, Lord Shiva.
No, Rudra Sampradaya is started by Lord Shiva to Vishnu, saying how Vishnu is the supreme. He spoke this knowledge to Parvati, and he started Rudra Sampradaya. Rudra Sampradaya or Sri Sampradaya or in Brahma Sampradaya, for example, Brahma is not the supreme. It is started by Brahma. Rudra Sampradaya is started by Rudra, Lord Shiva. Actually, Rudra is an incarnation of Lord Shiva. And Sri Sampradaya is started by Lakshmi Devi. But all of these point that Vishnu is the supreme.
Then why all these other gods exist?
So,
This is so-
why different demigods exist?
Yes, why?
Why four shastras?
Yeah, four shastras. Why can't we have one? A lot of questions are very common questions because unless these
See,
are answered.
I think it's good. I mentioned before. In a spiritual discussion, you will probably come with 10 questions. You will get maybe 5 questions answered. But these answers will give rise to 10 more questions. So you came with 10 questions, you're going back with 15 questions. And that means you're making progress. And that's all right. And that fire of inquisitiveness, and you need to understand, this knowledge is not something we can understand by our own intellect. Balaji Prabhu was reading this story. One frog, Dr. Frog, this is the title of the story. One frog grew up in a well. All its life it stayed in the well only. And once there were floods, and one bigger frog from an ocean came and fell in the well. So the well frog is asking, "Hey, where did you come from?" The ocean frog said, "I came from the ocean." The well frog said, "Oh, the ocean must be smaller than this well." The ocean frog said, No, it's actually quite big." The well frog said, "Oh, might be as big as this well." The ocean frog said, "No, much bigger." So the well frog opened its mouth, doesn't have hands, opened its mouth, "This big." The ocean frog said, No, much bigger than this. The well frog opened its mouth even bigger. "Is it this big?" The ocean frog said, No, it's much bigger. And the well frog opened its mouth to the largest extent possible. He said, "Is it this big?" And then it fell down and died. Prabhupada says, see, the well frog is trying to understand, or the ocean from its own limited understanding. Similarly, spiritual knowledge is not some, we cannot acquire or we cannot capture God with our minor intellect. Our intelligence is so small actually. So small. Brahma, whose entire body is made out of intelligence, he is able to manage the entire 14 planets easily. We are not able to manage 2 children and 1 house, 1 job, great difficulty. So one health issue, struggling. Our intelligence very, very limited. Lord Brahma himself was deluded when Krishna appeared. So, 4th chapter, this is how it begins. We cannot acquire spiritual knowledge by our own endeavors. So, and this realization is good. We say, hey, I have a lot of questions. I am not able to get answers for all of them. And that's when we surrender. We say, Krishna, please help me understand. And that in that humility, when we become humble, just as it is mentioned, water flows down. And we become humble, and then we will be able to begin, by Krishna's mercy, knowledge is revealed to us. Why these 4 paramparas? Or why so many gods? Or why so many books? Just give one instruction. Krishna is the supreme, surrender to him. Done. Why all this? So, of course, we have tried to explain some of that. I was hoping I will speak on something else for the benefit of everyone. But if everyone has this question, I can repeat that. Who else wants to hear? Why so many books, so many paths? Okay. If, for example, my son Gopal, he comes to me and he says, and I tell him, Gopal, I am your dad. You should hear whatever I say. Whatever I am telling is for your benefit. You should love me. What do you think Gopal will say?
Why?
I tell him the same thing. See, I am supreme. I am the supreme here in our house. You should just love me, follow whatever I say. What will he say?
He'll say,
Follow?
no, Mama is there. He'll
Say no. He'll say, you are an illusion thinking you are supreme. Mama is supreme. That's true also. But in the context of this analogy, they want more knowledge. I think I have one slide. Why do multiple religions exist? Maybe we'll address that first. Why various books within Hinduism, we will talk about that later. This one. Many people say, okay, so for my satisfaction, I'll complete the rest of these slides and hopefully some of your questions will be answered, not all of them, and then we will comment more. Many people say, doesn't matter which path you travel, whatever practices you do, whether you're doing meditation, whether you're offering the results of your work, all paths are same, everything leads to the same God. Have you heard any of this before?
Yes.
Right? So everything is same, doesn't matter what you do, all paths are same. Krishna mentions here. No, that's not true. So please repeat after me. Eyatamam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvasaha. Can someone please read the translation?
As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Partha.
Very nice. We will take it into 2 halves. Krishna is here telling, as one surrenders to Krishna, based on how his mood is, how his intentions are, what he is aspiring for, based on how one surrenders to Krishna, Krishna rewards them accordingly. Krishna he is not telling, it doesn't matter how people come to me, I always give them the same thing. That's not what he's saying. He's saying, with whatever intentions people come to me, I give them accordingly. With whatever desire they come, I reward them accordingly. This is one part. The second part is everyone follows my path in all respects. Imagine, for example, we want to go from here to Seattle. Are there multiple ways to get to Seattle?
Yes.
Right? Multiple ways. I can go by train. I heard the train journey from here to Seattle is very beautiful. Never been, but one of my relative lifelong goal is that. I think he was able to make it 2 years ago. I never heard back again though about that particular trip. So it's either little I doubt he enjoyed it. But anyway. Or we could take a flight journey, or somebody may take a drive. I'm sure some of you probably 14 hours, maybe 16 hours. Or some really weird people may walk to Seattle. There are different paths to get to Seattle. And all of them will take the person going to Seattle. Yes or no?
Yes.
If I take my journey, I take I-5 and drive towards LA. Will I go to Seattle?
No.
How many of you think I will go to Seattle?
I mean, a long path we can come.
Some sophisticated engineering minds are able to figure out a path. Even if you go to LA, you might still be able to take another flight. Or maybe come back, go through Vegas, go through Nevada, go to some other national park, go
for a
around.
couple of days.
So how many of you, if I go to take I-5 and go to LA, I will go to Seattle?
Eventually, maybe, if the desire is there.
Eventually, maybe. If the desire is there, if I am lucky. How many of you think, if I have the desire to go to Seattle, if I am going to LA, highly unlikely that I will make it to Seattle? How many of you think? Okay. How many of you are confused? Didn't raise hand for either of you, either of those options. So yes, actually you're right. Even if I go to LA, even if I just randomly select a path, right? Every destination from here, I just randomly select north, east, west, south, and then I go. And then 1 hour later, I do again north, east, west, south, just random. Keep going like this. I may eventually go to Seattle. May. But even probability wise also, the probability is very low. The probability that you will go to everywhere else in the universe before going to Seattle is very high. So similarly, wherever we go, all these paths are established by Krishna only. All these routes are laid out by US government only. So similarly, we are going in the path of Krishna only. But if we want to go to Seattle, we must first of all try to know where Seattle is. We should probably learn that from somebody who went to Seattle before or has access to it, has heard from somebody else who went to Seattle. So in some sort of disciplic succession about, or of course Google Maps is easily accessible for everyone, or read Bhagavadgita in our case. So we will see why all religions exist, so many religions exist. Actually, if you see, essence of all religion is actually same. Whether it is Christianity, Mohammedan, or Hinduism, or Sanatan Dharma as we would like to say it, all of them say Supreme is one. Essence of Quran, essence of Christianity, Hinduism, essence of those. If you talk to the top Hindu leaders who have studied all Vedic knowledge, not one piece here, but all Vedic knowledge, they have full clarity. The heads of all sampradayas, for example, they have full clarity. Supreme is one. And every being, every living entity has an eternal relationship with the Supreme. This also they agree. So God is one, and we have an eternal relationship with that God. And the primary duty of all of us is not to serve only our children, only our company, our wife, but actually ultimate, the eternal duty of all living entities is to serve the Supreme. This all religion accept. All religion, all. And the goal of human form of life is to develop love for the Supreme. Even Christianity and Mohammedan religions, they speak about love for God. And this is very interesting. And that love can be obtained by chanting of the holy names of God. This also all religions mention. Very interesting. Like for example, Quran. Can someone please read the Quran section?
Call upon Allah, benefactor, or call upon Rahman, beneficent, by whatever name you call upon him. It's well, but to him belong the most beautiful names. Quran 17.1.110. Bible. For whoever so shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Romans 10.13. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed by thy name.
So our Father can be reached. This is old English. So our Father can be reached by calling out His name. Thy name means His name.
Matt 6.9. Vedas. In this darkened age of Kali, the only means of deliverance is to chant the holy names of Hari, holy names of Hari, holy names of Hari. There is no other way, no other way, no other way. Brihan Naradiya Purana. Wow.
So this is also a very popular verse you may have heard. Kalau nasteva 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 Harir nama iva kevalam Kalau nasteva 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 gatiranyakar. It mentions there is no other way, no other way, no other way. Only calling out to Hari's names. Hari's names, not Hari name, Hari's names, or the Supreme Personality Godhead's names. And He has many names. Allah, Prabhupada confirmed, is an authorized name. So, all of these names have potency. And of course, we also know, for example, the formula of Rama. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame 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 Manurame Sahasranama Tatulyam Rama Rama. Even though all names have the potency, some names have more potency. So that distinction is there. But the point is, the essence of all religion is same. Those who seek the essence, they are not bewildered or confused. Why so many religions exist? Of course, why so many religions exist? 5 minus 2 is equal to 3. Right? Most first grade, second grade students will learn this. But in the first grade, you tell them, what is 2 minus 5? What? How can you take 5 apples from 2 apples? Not possible. Not possible. But is it possible?
Yes, mathematically possible.
Yeah. So you will learn this mathematics probably in 4th grade or 5th grade, I don't know. Maybe 7th grade, I don't know. Shriyan hasn't started learning negative numbers yet. He's in 6th grade, so possibly 6th or 7th grade or later. So just as in mathematics, there are different levels and people need to be trained slowly Otherwise, they'll be confused and they'll think mathematics is crazy and useless. So, just as we have different gradations and people graduate from one grade to another grade, so similarly, we have different grades. It's not that second grade student never does 5 minus 2. They do, but they do it much faster and it's implicit. 10th grade students also do additions and subtractions, but they're dealing with much higher mathematics. They're dealing with integrations, derivatives, Pythagorean theorem. You tell that to a first grade student, dy by dx. They think, what? Dy by dx? Are they even maths? That is English, no? Shriyan was asking, why are they writing, we were solving some mathematic problems. Discount. If D is a discount, how much will be the final rate if P is the price? He's saying, how can you calculate without telling the price? I was telling, assume P is the price. But how can you calculate without the price? So just as we have mathematics at different levels, religion is also at different levels. And depending on the maturity of the person, these spiritual topics reveal different truths according to the maturity of the person that we are dealing with. Another analogy. Anybody has seen a pocket dictionary? Right? So we have the small dictionary where most common words are found. Simple words are found. But in the pocket dictionary, if you try to find, for example, corroborated or correlation or some other complicated GRE words, you will not find them. Does that mean pocket dictionary is useless? No, they have a purpose. It's meant for some certain type of people who are trying to do certain type of things. But if you want all-encompassing, then you should go for these Webster college level dictionary. So just as we have different dictionaries with some of them only are available, pocket dictionary has only some of them, but the main dictionary has those words also, but it is more comprehensive. It has everything in it. Similarly, the knowledge that's given in Quran or Bible, for example, they are preliminary knowledge. It's mostly like, please do good, don't lie, don't marry, don't have illicit relationships, don't marry your own sister or mother, don't have illicit relationships. So very basics of human life. And don't become animals. For example, if you want to eat meat, eat it in somewhat regulated way. Right? Can you understand what type of people Muhammad was dealing with? So for him to tell, you should give up onion, garlic, you should fast on Ekadashis. They're like, what? Are you crazy? They'll say, impossible. What you're telling is nobody can do. Impossible. Let me not do anything. So, but instead what Muhammad did, okay, understand. 5 minus 2, can you do? That is, yes, we can do. Okay, alright, do that for now. And that's what many of these religions have done. Basic knowledge on what to eat, where to go, how to speak, how to respect. So somewhat regulated lifestyle. So that way they can eventually be elevated to a higher spiritual platform. Here is some references. Can Mataji's read?
I received 2 kinds of knowledge. One of these I taught, but if I had taught them the other, it would have broken their heart. Prophet Muhammad, Reincarnation in Islam, Nader Beg K. Mirza, Madras, 1927.
Essence is, he got knowledge of how to live in this world and fulfill your desires with the hope that eventually we will develop detachment. The other type of knowledge is the spiritual knowledge, which Quran doesn't speak too much about. There is some reference in Quran that mentions the color, the skin color of the Supreme is the dark monsoon cloud. I was reading somewhere. I was reading with references to, I was checking online also whether it is true or not. I don't have it here, but very basic knowledge. In order for you to love somebody, for example, let's say all of you are married, but imagine you're all young, not yet married. Your parents fix up a marriage with someone. Immediately you will say, please tell me about them. And your parents tell that they live in a house. They have 2 hands. They may have car. They may eat once or twice or thrice a day. I don't know exactly. I think he has a nose. Would you be able to develop love? Would you feel sheltered? Would you be, excited? Hey, I'm getting married to some. Would you feel like that? Sorry, I mentioned he. You wouldn't be excited even if you were she, let's say. Okay, he for you, she for you. So, Quran and Bible give very basic knowledge about God. There is no much description about the spiritual world. Even, for example, Bible mentions about heaven. But what happens in heaven, not very detailed description is given. How God looks like, what does he do, what does he wear. Vedic knowledge, how does Krishna stand, what he has in his right hand, what he has on his left hand, how much angle peacock feather is at, how many turbans on his head, how many flowers are there, how he is looking this side, that side, what he eats, how many times in a day does he eat, Ashtakaliya Leela, 8 folded pastimes. His day is broken down into 8 parts, what he does in each of them. Very detailed description is given. So people, depending on their own realization, who are unable to manage that much knowledge, or God playing with his girlfriends, will certainly bewilder those who are unable to control their senses. They will think, God has girlfriends? It's alright to have a girlfriend then. He has 16,000, I can also have few. So, okay. Did we read the rest? Okay, please finish the rest.
Bible, I have many things to say unto you, but your ears cannot hear them yet. John 16:1-2. Vedas, I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. Bhagavadgita 7.2.
So this word phenomenal and numinous is loosely or mostly spiritual knowledge and material knowledge. Knowledge about this material world, knowledge about the spiritual world. So that's why different types of different religions exist, because they are catered to people of lower consciousness, medium consciousness, and higher consciousness. But we also hear sometimes, some people, especially in Christianity, we see, my path is the only path. So, you want to go to God, my path is the only way. This is too exclusivistic. Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu gives a very nice pictorial representation of this. So I am here, spiritual consciousness, the peak of the mountain is like the spiritual peak. So to get there, some people say, this path is the only path to get to the top of the mountain. These type of people, they are fanatical. They are more attached to the path than the purpose. Why this religion exists, they don't care. Many times in India, we see people jumping from Hinduism or some other religion to Christianity. Now, Christian, they have been there for quite some time. It's almost like a corporate. They even have statistics that they have to meet. How many conversions have you made? Like that. So, most of them is jumping from one material consciousness to another material consciousness. It's not so much about transformation of the heart, but it's mostly about the word, what do they use? Conversion, not transformation of heart, but conversion of externals, conversion of the religion only. But the other extreme is all paths are same. Any path you take, you will go to the top of the mountain. Is that true? No. Some paths will go up and come down. Some paths will take you around and around. Only few paths will take you to the top. So this is also not right. It's not that only you have only one path. Not that you have all paths will lead to the same destination. But Vedic knowledge says this. Vedic knowledge says there are multiple paths to the final destination. And depending on, and this is the point which will probably clarify, depending on their current consciousness and their inclinations, they may choose any of these authorized paths. For example, the living entity, it wants to worship Krishna predominantly in the mood of Aishwarya. Wants to see God. Wow! As soon as I see God, I want to offer obeisances. I want to recite hundreds and thousands of verses. Then Krishna says, take birth in Sri Sampradaya. And you make progress there, because that's what gives pleasure to the living entity, and it's an authorized process. Good. But some people may feel, what, verses? Especially you talk to people from Vrindavan. What, God, verses? Poor God, He wants your food. So He wants your love. So it's a different type of love. And that is also authorized. So there is a different path for that. But ultimately all these four paths reach to the peak. Some of these paths, for example, Christianity, Mohammedan, they may not reach to the top, but they'll at least help you. You're not even in the base of the mountain, you're somewhere else. It'll at least help you get to the base of the mountain. And from there, eventually after maybe multiple births, we will get hold of, because one thing we must understand, Krishna is more eager to get us back to the spiritual world than we are. So as soon as we are ready, Krishna will send somebody. There are so many stories. In Pakistan, the Jagannath Rath Yatra happens. There are devotees in Pakistan, Russia, so many countries where I mentioned this story once. There was in 1970s, one doctor from Malaysia came to visit his friend in New York. This friend who is coming from Malaysia is of Indian origin, but complete atheist and ignorant of Vedic tradition. And this New York doctor, a week ago, met devotees in New York, and he got hold of Back to Godhead magazine, or Bhagavadgita actually, Bhagavadgita. And he is an American by birth. So when this Indian Malaysian doctor was leaving, he gifted that Bhagavadgita to him. At least you are Hindu, so you take this. And he thought, okay, alright, I wouldn't be nice if I tell I don't know, I'm not planning to read. So he took it. And he went, he put it in somewhere in his clinic. And 20 years later, he got married, he had children. His son was in high school, Malaysia. And his son thought, my English is not good in summer break right now. Let me go to dad's clinic. He will have some English books. I will read. So he went, searched the attic, and he got some book. And he started reading. That book is Bhagavad Gita. And as he started reading, he was surprised. He was immediately attracted to this knowledge that was given in Bhagavad Gita. And then he looked and he read at a high level through the whole book, saw that at the end of the book there is an address, and that address was LA address, US Los Angeles address, because that's where the book was printed. So he mailed. He said, please, you said there are many more books. I want to get all of them. Here is money. Please send all those books to me. And he sent. Many months passed. And one day, a monk knocked on his door. And he said, my name is Imapati Das. You mailed this letter to LA. He was somewhere, I think, I don't know geographically, there was some other location 8 hours from Malaysia. He said, I live another country, another state, 8 hours from here. So they told me, they said, hey, some person from Malaysia, he sent us this money. He said, he read Bhagavadgita, he was interested. So please go meet him. So he came with a box of books. Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all books of Prabhupada. And he said, here are all the books. And he gave donation. He made arrangements for Imapati Prabhu to stay for a few days. And he heard as much as Krishna consciousness as he was able to get over the next few days. And eventually this devotee, he became a wonderful devotee. He became initiated by a spiritual master. And he helped start 14 temples in Malaysia. So that one Bhagavad Gita that was distributed in New York to a New York doctor, which was gifted to an Indian or no longer Indian doctor, and his son, because this person was ripe with spiritual realization. So Paramatma guided him, hey, learn English, learn in your fathers, and then he comes, search there, all that direction is Paramatma given. So when the living entity is ripe like that, they are guided to these paths. And none of this is coincidence. It's not that all of us sitting here discussing Bhagavad Gita is a coincidence. That's not true. So we are ready for this knowledge, so Krishna guides. Hey, open that message. And then some friend sends something and you're like, okay, all right, let me see what it's like. Let me register. And then you come. I tell you, 200 people registered first time. Only about 60 people survived. After 6 weeks, we only had 60 people. 200 people to 60 people. But those people also will continue their journey eventually. So this is Sanatana Dharma, which we speak with clarity that not all paths lead to the same end. There are multiple paths to get to, depending on our own inclination. And why so many books exist? Again, same thing. Somebody is not able to accept. For example, people fed up with personal relationships. They love somebody so much and they cheat them. They love somebody else so much, they also cheat them. They love somebody else and they are separated by death. And they love somebody else, they also cheat them, and eventually they are frustrated. So this personal relationship is not working. And then they are only interested in Brahman. Anytime they hear personal God, this God must also be cheating. I don't want. I am attracted only to, meditate online. Very nice. So that will be very palatable for them. And then as their spiritual practices purify them, they will eventually be able to take up a personal. So that's why there are different spiritual books also based on where they are at. Just as there are different medicines for different diseases. You can say, hey, why give only one medicine? One doctor, one medicine. Yeah, of course. If there is only one disease, that would work. When so many diseases, different people have different degrees of false ego, different degrees of polluted intelligence. So different medicines are needed. I hope some of these analogies help you understand to some extent. I am not expecting everything has become crystal clear now. Now I understand why all religions exist, why all books exist. But I hope at least some more clarity is there. We will conclude here. Any comments, questions, reflections we will take after Gauranga Nityananda. Well-deserved break. For me at least. I had to dodge many questions. Thank you very much for the very nice questions. I think we had very nice discussion. So we will do Gauranga Nityananda and join this side. Not too many people. Few people move this side. We will do Gauranga this side, Nityananda this side. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Gauranga! Gauranga Nityananda. 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 All right, we'll take a couple of reflections, comments, questions. I warn, questions are a black hole. But I'll try to give a very, very short answer. I may say we will cover it in future sessions for satisfactory answers. There is a second mic somewhere. Anything that you heard, maybe you can reflect on before you ask questions.
No question, Prabhu. A comment. I had a bad thought about Muhammad, but one of my Hindu friend, of course, he said, hey, no, Muhammad is a great leader because people were eating, killing the other people and eating at that time. So he united those people and he made them follow one thing. After reading yours, like what you told, I recollected that.
Hello, very nice.
Prabhuji, I have one question.
Before question, you should share anything that you understood, liked from the session.
Many things.
Please share one thing that you take away.
So like following the right path, for bhakti is very important, especially the colleague who are senior to you in the bhakti path.
Did you say colleagues? Oh no, nice term. I like it. Colleagues who are senior to you. That's very nice actually. Because we are all in the company of Krishna. And,
senior devotees.
Senior devotees.
Colleagues, no, that's a good term.
Friend, like.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing that. Now we have gotten the ticket for questions.
So the question is, so even Lakshmi Mata was also a demigod?
No. I mean, yes and no. People worship her. People worship Krishna also as a demigod. Meaning, I think, maybe not appropriate term. I take that back. Because when we worship Krishna, akama sarva kama va moksha kama udarati. When we worship Krishna, Krishna gives what we want, but he also purifies our wants, our desires also he purifies. But other demigods, including Lakshmi Devi, doesn't purify. So Lakshmi Devi worship that most people do, they worship Lakshmi Devi as a demigod for material desires, for fulfillment of material desires. And that's all she will do. But Lakshmi Devi is most pleased when we worship her with her beloved. When we worship Lakshmi Narayan, Radha Krishna, Sita Ram, then she is most pleased. And then she will also bless. And that money that Lakshmi Devi blesses will not bind us, but actually helps us liberated. So you will get more money, but that money will not be the cause of your material downfall. You won't be lusty, greedy, angry, all that stuff. It will actually, that Lakshmi, that money will actually help you elevate. So
when Lord Vishnu was so enlightened already, like how can he chooses his life partner as like who gives material satisfaction to everyone, like money. So how can he like chooses her as her behalf, like as her?
Very nice question. Actually, money in itself is not bad. In fact, money is spiritual. Actually, everything is spiritual. But it is the living entity. When we use that thing for our own sense gratification, it becomes material. So you may say the same thing for Mother Earth. Mother Earth is a consort of Varahadev. How did Varahadev chose Mother Earth, who is giving so much food, and all these people, they are taking that food and enjoying, and so things in themselves are not material. It is the consciousness in which we use it that it becomes material. And when Lakshmi Devi gives, eventually, for example, Will Smith, Hollywood hero, became a very rich person. But eventually he also got the realization that no enjoyment here. Not happy. And they understood. Many people like this understood. And they eventually develop detachment from Lakshmi also. If, let's say, you are saying Lakshmi, but everything connected, everything that we enjoy, air Krishna is supplying, water Krishna is supplying. Why is Krishna associated with air god or wind god or water god who are supplying to materialistic people? Do you see? I'm just expanding your question, right? So, actually, if Krishna doesn't provide anything to materialistic people will say, see, you are so selfish. Because we didn't love you, you are not providing us anything. You see? So Krishna is so selfless. He provides, even when our intentions are incorrect, He provides us still in a regulated way so that we don't harm too much ourselves. In a regulated way, He provides. And He also provides the knowledge by which we can be elevated as well. So, opulence, money in itself is not bad. How we use that money is knowledge. Saraswati Devi, for example, is empowered by Krishna also. How she is able to give knowledge. There is a pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita. How once a devotee of Saraswati Devi, he is called Digvijay Pandit. He never got a second place. He always won only. So he comes to Navadvip. As he comes, every Navadvip was the place of, just like we have cricket is the national sport of India right now. So back then, debate was the national sport. People debating about Shastra, this verse, that verse, like that. And this Digvijay Pandit comes to Navadvip. Everybody ran away. But then Mahaprabhu defeats him. And then Digvijay Pandit goes home. And he was crying, what is this? I got second place. Oh, not accepted. I'm just making it up. But he was sad. And he was thinking, oh Mother Saraswati, I worshipped you so much. Why did you make me defeated? And then in his sleep, Saraswati reveals, see, you came head on with my master. How can I defeat my own master? I only don't have that much knowledge. So Saraswati is like that. So all demigods who are providing everything for us, they are all directly or indirectly connected with Krishna. And Krishna is sanctioning them. He is allowing, yes, please give them. Please give air, please give water, please give fruits, juices, grains for them to eat. And then He also gave us independent choice for us to choose to become God conscious or not. And He gives us the knowledge also. And it is our own will, our own independence. Through experience we may learn, oh, if I use this money, go to Vegas, enjoy, eventually I'll be frustrated because I see people like that. I myself have that experience. So let me use this money in God's service. Until that realization comes, Lakshmi is providing but reluctantly. She's thinking, what is this? All right. You did this puja, I'm bound to give. All right, take it. But she's not very happy. So, because they're all doing thankless job, Krishna is pleased with them too. I hope that helps.
Yeah, but like He chose Lakshmi with some intention, or it was just happened?
Lakshmi Devi chose Krishna.
Oh.
That is mentioned Lakshmi sahasra sata sambhrama sevyamanam govindam adi purusham tamaham vachami. Thousands of Lakshmis want to worship Krishna with all their wealth. Krishna, he wants to satisfy every living entity, including those Lakshmi Devis also. So that's why he's allowing them to massage his feet. So Krishna is Atmaram. He doesn't need anybody. But to satisfy Lakshmi, he is allowing Lakshmi Devi to worship him. So that answers part of your question. So why does he allow Lakshmi to serve? I hope any more parts that are unanswered.
Like in his consciousness, material world, like we should not like pursue more or run behind. But then on the other hand, he is living with every day with a person who is encouraging everyone to motivate to live in the material world, you know.
No, that's not true. Lakshmi Devi, as I said, she is reluctantly giving.
Okay.
All Shastras very clearly point to saying that don't aspire for material things, don't aspire for money, temporary things. We read that again and again. In fact, Krishna is saying, if you are too attached, I tell you to give up altogether, you won't be able to. Alright, give a portion of it selflessly. Krishna mentions a ladder in the 12th chapter. For example, you can't worship me directly, but at least you do some selfless service. Society, you go give some money to poor people, do this, do that. At least you will develop detachment from money. So yes, she is not encouraging people. She is actually, in fact, showing people how to worship. What pleases her is actually worship to the Supreme. When we worship the Supreme, it is most pleasing to Lakshmi. And another story. Some other time. But anyway, okay. Any other comments, questions?
Doesn't mean just not money alone, right?
Actually, that is a very big.
But unfortunately, everyone thinks Lakshmi means just money, but Lakshmi gives very lot of different ways.
Wealth.
For some, it is
Wealth actually. Lakshmi actually means wealth. Wealth doesn't mean only money.
It is like some for knowledge, for some it is health, for some it is kids. There are different versions of wealth. What you think is, but first thing comes to everyone is Lakshmi means money alone. It's not true.
But the real wealth Lakshmi gives is bhakti. So, Lakshmi, when we say Lakshmi, it's not just Lakshmi, Sita, these are all incarnations of Srimati Radharani. So, Parvati Devi, all these are incarnations of Shakti, or original Shakti is Srimati Radharani. The best wealth she gives is bhakti. The bhakti is what we all eventually aspire for. Those who understand the real wealth is bhakti. That's what everybody aspires for. So, yes.
So, Hare Krishna Prabhu, so one of the reflection is when you're showing the slides, the Bible verse, right? So, Our Father in Heaven, so I just remembered my school prayer. So we used to start the day with that prayer. Our Father in Heaven, hallowed by thy name. I just forgot. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as in heaven. Forgive us our sins as we forgive, and forgive those who sin against us. Amen. So that's what we used to do. And the question I have is, like you told, right, like the Quran or the Bible, they just bring you to the base of the mountain, but not to the top of the mountain. But again, in Quran they say, like in Bhagavadgita, as we say, like Krishna's abode is Goloka. In Quran they say Allah's, it's a spiritual world. So whoever goes to Jannah, it's like the place name in Jerusalem. In that place, like Israel somewhere. So
Mecca.
Okay, so it's a spiritual world for them. And in Holy Bible they say that Jesus was born in Bethlehem. So it's again, it's a spiritual place. So whoever goes to Bethlehem and
whoever goes to Bethlehem, they have reached spiritual, or they will eventually
go to heaven.
Because very clear they mention
Heaven.
They will go to heaven. So, even Vedic tradition also we have these, no? For example, America is here, but America has an outpost Everybody who wants to get an American visa, we go to this consulate office. You enter the consulate office, even the water bottle is imported or exported from America to that consulate. Everything inside, the chocolates they're eating, everything is American exported or American imported. It's an outpost of America. So similarly, yes, Bethlehem or Mecca, these are all outposts of the spiritual world for them. And yes, by going there, just like when we go to Vrindavan, Vrindavan is an outpost of the spiritual world. When we go to Vrindavan, we will eventually, that word eventually, we'll go back to the spiritual world. But there is not much description about just going there. You will not go. You go there, do all nonsense, come back, do all nonsense. We will not go. So there are so many other things. But by going there, we will get the inspiration to purify ourselves more and more. And when we are completely purified, eventually, by the process of bhakti, I need to correct my earlier statement. It's not that Christianity or Mohammedan, they will only get us to the base. They may actually take us much further than the base, but they will not take us to the pinnacle. For example, my spiritual master once, he gave a class and one student was asking, so Maharaj, does that mean I am better than a Christian? My spiritual master gave a beautiful answer. I loved it. He said, because you are a student, I will give you an exam analogy. Sanatan Dharma is like getting a question paper with 100 questions. If you answer all of them, you will get 100 marks. Some of these other religions, they are like 40-mark question paper, 60-mark question paper. Somebody who has studied well, their syllabus is small, their question paper will only get them, because their syllabus is small, they will only be able to answer some questions only. If they studied very well, somebody may get only 50 marks, somebody may get 60 marks. But you may have full syllabus and you may have full question paper, but if you did not study, you did not practice, and you did not write your exam properly, you will still get less marks than them. A sincere Christian who is following the path of Christian is more advanced than an insincere Sanatan Dharmi or a Hindu. So, in that sense, we cannot say, no, I am better than all Christians. No. We respect, we take inspiration from wherever. There are so many sincere Christians, very advanced. There are many Muslims also who don't eat meat, who follow in many ways Vedic tradition. There are two paths that Mohammedans follow. One is the path of, I forgot what they are called. Hey, many of you know. Shia? Sunni. So one of them I heard is the path of detachment. So they don't eat meat. And they follow many rules and regulations. They follow strict brahmacharya and things like that. So only for procreation they unite. So they follow very strict rules like that. So when we see them, we offer obeisances in our heart and minds. So, what was your question again?
So like Goloka Vrindavan, so Bethlehem also is a spiritual world.
Yes, it's an outpost.
But not a spiritual world.
It is spiritual world. But by going there, you will only have limited experience of the spiritual world. Just as going to US consulate, you will see many Americans there, many of them even Indian speaking. Hey, good morning, how are you doing? Many of them, you may get an experience of this US. You may see chocolates, biscuits, water bottle, all American made, but it's not full experience. And especially the spiritual places, they may not reveal fully to us. They may only reveal partially. So yes, they are spiritual places, but a partial spiritual place. And then by going there, any religion, by following the practices that are prescribed in those religions, Prabhupada said, I came here to make you a better Christian. When he came, he said, "Hey, we have our own Christianity. Why are you coming and giving us this Bhagavad-Gita knowledge?" He said, Bhagavad-Gita, Christianity said, "Thou shalt not kill." You're not supposed to kill any living entity. Why are you killing? You're not following your religion properly. So I came to make you a better Christian. That's what Prabhupada said. And yes, and he was right. So, yeah, these are all spiritual places, have spiritual potency, and by wherever we are, by practicing our own, anyway, Hare Krishna. Any final comments, questions?
Just one more. So,
You have to share one more reflection for the next question.
First reflection.
I'm just joking. Please go.
so I mean, recently, what I heard is, so Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? So, like
You're hearing from the right place.
Sadashiva, Lord Krishna, Vishnu, and also Parashakti. With Amavaru, Parashakti, right? So like Brahma has, in a day he has some kalpas, right?
One day of Brahma is called a kalpa. One kalpa has 1,000 Chaturyugas.
So they become Supreme Personality of Godhead in a round robin fashion. I'm sorry, but
So you're saying one day Krishna is the Supreme, second day Sadashiva is the Supreme.
Yeah. And they are all one, but it's just that they divide.
They are not all one, and they don't become Supreme. They don't take turns. Hey, yesterday you became Supreme, now let me become. How can that be Supreme? It's a temporary Supreme. So then what if you don't finish your spiritual realization today? You are worshipping Krishna, and then end of day of Brahma comes. Next day you wake up with devotion to Krishna. He is no longer the Supreme. And then you're thinking, well, what? I wasted one full 44 billion years of my lifetime worshipping Krishna. What is this? So, syllabus changed. Failed the exam. So it doesn't work like that. Absolute truth means truth that does not change. Wherever you heard this revolving doors, that's
Operation Success patient died.
So, yeah, we never let you finish your question. If that was your question, yes, I hope.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Final one.
Not a question, Prabhu, just a reflection, and something that I've been appreciating more and more about Sanatana Dharma is and again, not about any particular religion, but a lot of times what we see is this becomes very extreme in different cases, right? It's about, either you live or I live. But if that continues, no one lives, right? But the more I read about it, a lot of shlokas we recite, a lot of mantras, they are all about everyone's welfare. So that's such a beautiful thing in Sana. I don't see it everywhere, at least from my limited knowledge. I haven't seen it everywhere. It's like all the verses we recite is Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. My grandfather used to do yag every day for 6 decades. Every time he chanted prayer, it was about Vayu Jal Sarvatra Ho Shubh Gandha Ko Dharan Kare. About everyone's so about everyone's benefit, right? So that's something so beautiful in our dharma. So yeah, I mean, there may be many paths, but I feel this is a very beautiful path because it's always talking about everyone's welfare, everyone's benefit, and taking everyone along. So yeah, just an appreciation of it.
Yeah, so we should feel very fortunate where there is great power is given, great response. Where much is given, much is expected. Just by taking birth in a Sanatana Dharma, much is expected of us. So we must follow and then propagate so others will be benefited by this wonderful theology of Krishna consciousness. And I also shared, Anu Prabhu gave a very beautiful analogy last week about why various religions exist. He gave a very beautiful analogy. He said, you see almond. People soak almond, next day morning they peel off the layer and they eat the pure white almond. I added my interpretation that layer is like the false ego. Some people need to be soaked longer. Some types of nuts need to be soaked longer. Nuts. Not a coincidence. These are nuts. Some nuts need to be soaked longer in this material world for their false ego to be peeled off completely. Some don't need much soaking because they're already ripe. So their false ego comes off very easily and they're able to surrender to the Supreme easily. So that's why various religions and dharmas exist. But again, unfortunately, there are people who interpret even within Hinduism or Muslim, use religion for wrong purposes. And right now, when you say religion, I'm religious people, maybe God, this must be a fanatical person. Maybe he carries some bombs or some weapons. So unfortunate situation that is. We can change that by our own behavior, first of all, by our own lifestyle changes, and then by our own example, we can influence the world to become a better place. Hare Krishna. Thank you for that nice example. I was thinking about it throughout the week and I thought, wow, such a beautiful example. Alright. Even though we started late, we went on longer. So shall we do a short kirtan? Where are the kids, by the way? No kids? Usually they come out restless. They must be doing some nice activity. We'll do kirtan and then take prasad. Is that okay? Any more questions? Oh, by the way, while kids are coming, let me invite Anu Prabhu. I don't know if you already created a separate WhatsApp group for our spiritual retreat. We will have those of us who are going for the spiritual retreat, please bring your plates. We will form a circle here and plan for our spiritual retreat. Otherwise, no prasadam once we go there. We must shop, we must buy stuff, we need to decide what activities and what items, who is cooking what, all that stuff. So, I hope those who are still on the fence will consider joining. We have plenty of space, so feel free to join. Hare Krishna. Please, would you like to share anything?
Yeah, maybe you can go to that presentation quickly. I think that would be very helpful. Hare Krishna, everyone. So just going through the overview of what we are planning to do, how things are outlined for us. So this is the stay that we have. This is the address. Again, the WhatsApp group that we create. We'll send more details on this and specific like details like these. But yeah, it's like almost like 90 minutes to 2 hours depending on traffic. Drive from Fremont. We will be checking on Thursday. Actually, the time needs to be updated. G Prabhu confirmed that it will be 1 p.m. check-in. So we'll confirm that time.
Oh, we can't go very early?
Multiple times.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Last time they allowed, but this time possible.
Yeah. So we'll discuss that, how we'll plan that day reaching. But yeah, 1 p.m. we'll get the entry into the house. Yeah, and then the checkout will be on Sunday. So we'll be like checking out. We'll again discuss the detailed plan on how we do that. But we have there from Thursday to Sunday. High level itinerary for each day. Tuesday, the first day we reach there. We'll plan a lot of activities together. Do some quizzes or games together. Spend that time again. One of the best. At least the 2 times I have been into these retreats, one of the best times are cooking together, just making prasadam together, enjoying that time. So we'll do that in the evening. And Prabhu mentioned this time we'll be like doing some dancing kirtans and stuff like more of these kind of things in the evening. So we'll focus on that. Friday, again, one of the best things to do is like we get up bright and early. The Brahma Muhurat wake up time. So we try to get up at 4, do some chanting, do these things, which is an amazing experience. We do that. We'll do more of spiritual talks, and again, Prabhu, you can mention more on what you are planning. But yes, from what I have known, it's more like
we'll have more question and answers.
Yes.
Please bring all your question and answer. This time we don't have any topics. This time we want to keep it very interactive, and we'll in fact hear from everyone what different perspectives. We'll have more discussion, not a monologue or a dialogue, but we will have different perspectives, debates, discussions. Especially some of you have been reading, attending for quite some time. So I would like to hear more from all of you. Many wonderful analogies come out from those discussions. So I would like to learn. So a lot of question and answer discussions. Yes.
Yeah. So after that we'll have prasadam. We'll go to the butterfly sanctuary. It's in Monterey. So we'll drive there. It's a beautiful walk. A lot of butterflies around. So I think it will be a great experience just to be in nature, spend some time together. We'll come back, have some time to reflect, and then again, the same cycle follows of kirtan and cooking prasadam together. The next day we have picked a hike which is close to a river, so we walk alongside the river. It's a beautiful hike again. And all those things are close by where we are, so it's not very far from where we are. And the Sunday, again, we'll all discuss as Prabhu said, but what we have done in the past is that, if we can cook some prasadam, we can go on the way, we can take a stop at a park or somewhere and have some, like a picnic style lunch or something. So we'll plan all the details, but that's the high level itinerary that's there. I don't think we need to go through these, Prabhu. So these have been shared in the chanting group. You can look at the details on like the day-wise activities. I think we've gone through most of them, Prabhu. And then there's more information on what we need to bring. Generally, how we follow is that the rooms that we have, we keep it reserved for Matajis and children. The Prabhus will just bring their sleeping bags and sleep here, which is again a very fun experience, to be honest. That's what at least my experience has been. So we'll follow the same pattern and same routine. We'll discuss today, finalize the menu there, and we'll accordingly discuss what we need to bring, what we need to buy. So we'll finalize all those details today. So as Prabhu said, there's still some space that we have. So please, if you are on the fence, if you're not yet haven't made your mind, please, more than welcome. I think the more the better. Krishna's mercy there. That's a request. Prabhu. So in terms of price, we are looking somewhere between around $250 per person this time, including the accommodation and the food. In the past retreats we've just been there for 2 nights. This is sort of a 3-night stay. So that's what it's coming down to. But yes, we'll of course share all the breakdowns on what the costs were and what the accommodation expenses. But that's kind of the ballpark figure we are looking at right now.
Haribo. Prabhu has put in a lot of energy in trying to organize and figure out where to go what, and so I'm very happy and grateful. We're very much looking forward to what all games we can play. The more the merrier, but I understand many of you have already made some other plans. We will miss you, but I feel sorry that we will have too much fun without you. So, so if possible, please do join for a few days or all the days, however the time permits. It will be very relaxing. So, if you can. Yes, let us give a big round of applause to Anisha.
Hare Krishna. I actually wanted everyone to come to this spiritual outing because we're not only going to do now what we did like last time. We were more into spiritual stuff, but now we're going more into like the fun stuff. That's why we planned another day, so we could do half-time spiritual and half-time fun.
Wow. He's our brand ambassador.
It's brand ambassador.
Krishna jinka naam hai. Where are the kids? यशोदरिंकी मैया नंद जी पापैया है ऐसे श्री गोपाल को मेरे बार प्रणाम है ऐसे मेरे अद्भुत जिनकी माया है ऐसे श्रीधर श्याम को मेरे पार पार का नाम है louder please तायो गाल बाल संग से जरायो ऐसे
बाल को मेरे बारम बारम नाम है
ऐसे सीता राम को
मेरे बारम बारम नाम है रूप दर्शित को
ग्राम से ब्रज को पाद चुरायो
भारत भारत गुरु पांडव को युद्ध बचाओ अर्जुन को उपदेश सुनाओ
गुरु पांडव
को युद्ध बचाओ
अर्जुन को
उपदेश सुनाओ ऐसे मेरे बारम बारम
गोपाल गोपाल कमिए ऐसे दीनानाथ को मेरे पार प्लीज माइक टू मुकुंद माइक टू मुकुंद बारम बारम का नाम है भजे One more time. Not in sync. Ready? 1, 2, Bhajare. Hey! Bhaja Govinda Gopala Hare. Radhe Govinda. Radhe Gopala. Radha Padasarani. Kandari Kabirari. Give it to Manju Mata. Radha Parishishvara. Radha Kalachandri. Rukmini Vakari. Radha Madan Mohan. Radha Damodara, Radha Gopinanda, Radha Gopi Vallabha, Radha Gopinatha, Radha Kunda Bihari, Radha Landanikara, Radha Nila Madhava, Radha Radha Radha, Radha Ramana, Radha Rasa Bihari, Radha Shyama Sundara, Radha Vrindavan Chandra, Kishore Kishore Hare. Bhaja Govinda Gopala, Bhaja ऐसे श्री भगवान को मेरे बार प्रणाम ऐसे श्री भगवान को मेरे ऐसे श्री घनश्याम को मेरे बार प्रणाम Late, we are not doing any extra. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaura Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Tomorrow is our spiritual master's appearance day. Any of you interested to know more about him? You may, there is I think on YouTube, and I'll probably share more information if you're interested. You're welcome to it. There is a book called Journey Home. It's an amazing book, extraordinarily thrilling spiritual read, filled with so many spiritual realizations Maharaj has put. But it's amazing how a Jewish born American from Chicago ended up hitchhiking through so many difficulties and challenges, because there is a calling, an inner calling of heart, where he heard when he was meditating on Thames, he heard, come to India. And when he went, usually we hear the Maha Mantra, the mantra from Guru. So when Maharaj eventually went to India, he was sitting on the banks of Yamuna, and he heard the Maha Mantra for the first time from Yamuna. And there were so many miraculous things, amazing things. Maharaj mentions in this book called Journey Home. There is an audio book available on YouTube. You can just, I think it's 5 hours plus 3 hours. Amazing. Maharaj himself narrated that. It's an extraordinary read. It's a thrilling book.
What is the name of the book?
Journey Home, and his name is His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj.
Because when we search for Journey Home, so many books come.
Yes. I'll share maybe a link in the group.
Related to Christianity and other things.
Yes.
Home means
home for many people, as we were mentioning, different peaks, temporary peaks of those mountains. Maharaj mentions how it's an extraordinary journey, story-wise, but then he also meets so many spiritual leaders and so many spiritual religious paths, and how he comes to Krishna consciousness. He very beautifully intertwines his story with the conclusions of Shastra very beautifully, extraordinarily. He mentioned so many stories. One story that's coming to my mind, Maharaj wanted to get blessings from Lord Shiva. So he got on a train from somewhere near Nepal, and he was going all the way to Badrinath or some place somewhere near Jammu and Kashmir. I don't know the geography very well. Some Lord Shiva temple. And they got in the train, and the train was jam-packed. He couldn't feel where his hand is, leg is. Breathing air, fresh air is a luxury. And he would mention they were breathing everybody's leftover air. 2-3 days. And after 3 days, finally, the train stopped. And when they looked out, the train stopped because of a flood in a paddy field, where cobras were roaming in the paddy field. So nobody dared to get down. And after 2 more days of journey, the train stopped in a railway station. Then him and his friend thought, oh God, if I don't breathe, I will die. Both of them came out, had a fresh breather, drank some water, went to the bathroom. After 3 days, and they were trying to, as the train was picking up speed, they were trying to jump back in the train, and all they hit was a wall of human flesh, in the words of Maharaj. And they couldn't get in the train, and the train left. And they were stranded in a place nobody knew. I mean, they didn't know what that place was. So they went and asked one sadhu who's sitting there. He said, this is Mathura, and today is Janmashtami. So come, I'll take you to Janmastan. And adventurous, amazing story on how he goes there. And there he was really moved and touched by the atmosphere and the devotion of the people there. How they were celebrating fasting till midnight. And touched, he thought, okay, I want to go to Vrindavan. He heard so much about Vrindavan. And then he goes to Vrindavan. And it's an amazing story of how he meets his spiritual master. Oh, that's a story in it itself. His visa was expiring. So he vowed never to leave Vrindavan. He got sick, bedridden for 2 months. And then eventually he was nurtured back to health. And as he was thinking, I will not leave Vrindavan, I love this place too much, he got a letter saying his visa was expiring. So he came to Bombay to get his visa renewed. And when he came there, he saw a big flyer on the, big billboards. And then it said, Hari Bol or Hare Krishna, and cross Maidan. That's it. Hare Krishna, cross Maidan. I don't know, what is this Hare Krishna? Never heard. So he went to that cross Maidan. 20,000 people in a big, huge tent, and Srila Prabhupada was speaking. And then eventually Prabhupada started speaking. And in the middle of the speech, Prabhupada stopped and called one of his servants. And he pointed towards the audience. And that person came through the audience, 20,000 people, all the way to the back, and caught hold of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Then Richard Slavin caught hold of him, got him all the way to the stage. And he said, my spiritual master, Prabhupada, want you to sit next to him. And the program was there for 3 days. He said, you can come and sit here on the stage for the next 3 days. And Maharaj says, that is how my spiritual master picked me up from the rotting material world, personally picked me up and gave me spiritual knowledge. And then he heard Srila Prabhupada for the next 3 days, and he has been hearing and following and reading so many spiritual paths and books. But when he heard Srila Prabhupada, he thought, this is a special personality. And it's an extraordinary story. I will not spoil it for you. Every page is like a thriller. How he enters from Pakistan to India. Oh God. I heard him narrate this for the first time in 2016, I think, in Apple headquarters. Oh, extraordinary book. So please do read. So we will be celebrating his appearance day tomorrow. It will be our great honor. And only by his mercy, whatever little service we are able to do is his direct contribution. Whatever good you see here is his mercy. So if you ever want to express any gratitude to us, so please kindly offer that to him. He is the original owner. So, thank you. Hare Krishna. Please offer a prayer for his good health and maybe have the strength to serve him and please him in whatever little we do. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Please come take prasad. Oh, sorry. Thank you. We will not get the cakes without celebrating birthdays. Someone was asking a question, comment?
Is he coming in person?
No, we are celebrating virtually. Yeah, he will be in, he is I think right now in India. Yeah, we have people here, there are many disciples here in California. We are coming together tomorrow in one location and we are celebrating. It's the biggest birthday party.
His birthday
Tomorrow, yes. We call it Appearance Day. So, Vyasa Puja or the other ones called as. Okay, so we have two birthdays. Mukund's and Radhya's. Radhya's birthday was on Wednesday, I think. Mukund's Tuesday. So we will have 2 cakes as your dinner prasadam, nothing else. There is more prasadam also. We will have the birthday boy and the girl come. We will sing for them and then we'll take prasadam. Satya Prabhu's birthday is day before yesterday, it seems. So we will invite him also. He will also cut one of the cake. Satya Prabhu's daughters made laddus celebrating his birthday. This is how gratitude is expressed through service. So please come.
Hello. Right now.